Everyone's selling you a 4-hour Claude Code course. You don't need it. You need one agent. The intake bot that reads inbound leads, scores them 0 to 100, replies in under 90 seconds, and only pings me for the top 15%. If you're a solo operator drowning in 40 form submissions a day and losing the good ones to slow replies, this is the exact system you plug in today. Most tutorials teach you to build an agency. I already run this pipeline daily on my home server. I'm Lazar. Let me show you the file structure that makes it work. Let me paint the situation because I bet you're living it. You have a contact form on your site, maybe a Calendly, maybe a type form. Leads come in, some days 5, some days 40. Most of them are junk. Wrong budget, wrong role. Students asking for free work, someone who thinks you build Shopify themes for $200. But buried in that noise, once or twice a week, is a real buyer. A director of ops at a mid-sized company. A founder with a real budget. A referral from a past client. And here's what kills you. By the time you open the inbox in the evening, sift through the noise, and craft a thoughtful reply, that buyer has already emailed 3 of your competitors. Studies keep repeating the same number. Reply within 5 minutes, and your conversion rate is roughly 9 times higher than replying in an hour. Most solo operators are replying in 6 to 12 hours. That's the entire problem. You're not losing deals because you're bad at sales. You're losing them because you're asleep, or in a call, or you skipped the inbox because the last 20 leads were garbage. So here's the solution I build for clients, and the exact structure I want you to copy. It's one Claude Code project. One folder. It runs 24/7 on a cheap server. Could be a home PC. Could be a $5 VPS. The folder is called Intake Agent, and inside it, there are exactly 4 things you need to understand. First, a CLAUDE.md file. This is the persona and the rules. It tells Claude who it's writing as, your name, your company, your tone. It tells Claude what it must never do. Never quote a price, never promise a timeline, never book directly. It tells Claude the goal. Qualify the lead, respond warmly, and hand off the top ones to me. 2 paragraphs of writing. That's it. Second file, scoring_rubric.md. This is the brain. 0 to 100. I break it into 4 buckets. Budget signals. Did they mention a range? Did they mention team size? Did they mention revenue? That's up to 30 points. Role signals. Are they a founder, a head of ops, a director? Or are they a student or a random contractor? Up to 25 points. Timeline signals. Words like this quarter, ASAP, we're launching, urgent, up to 25 points. And red flags, subtract points for things like, can you do it for free, I have an idea, or a Gmail address with no company. Up to 20 negative points. You write this rubric once, in plain English. Claude reads it every time a lead comes in. Third, a reply duster plates folder. 3 tiers. Tier 1 is for scores 0 to 40, polite decline, resource link, done. Tier 2 is 50 to 75, warm reply asking 2 qualifying questions, no calendar link yet. Tier 3 is 76 and up, personalized reply referencing something specific from their message, and a direct booking link. Claude doesn't copy these templates verbatim. It uses them as a voice guide and rewrites in context. That's the difference between an autoresponder and an agent. Fourth, form_hook.py. 20 lines of Python. It listens for a post from your form provider. Tally. Typeform. A Webflow form, whatever. When a lead lands, it hands the payload to Claude Code with a single prompt that says, read this lead. Apply the rubric. Output a JSON with the score, the tier, and the drafted reply. Claude returns that. The script sends the email through your SMTP or resend. It appends a row to a Google Sheet, and if the score is above 75, it fires a Telegram message to my phone with the lead's name, score, and the first 2 lines of the reply I just sent on autopilot. Now let me walk you through a real lead going through this pipeline. A form submission lands at 2 in the morning. The person writes 3 paragraphs. They run a logistics company, 40 employees. They're spending 20 hours a week on manual dispatch coordination. They want to know if AI can help. The webhook fires. Claude reads it, applies the rubric. Budget signals. 40 employees, 20 hours a week of pain. That's real money on the table. 22 points. Role, operations lead, 20 points. Timeline, they said we need this before Q1, 20 points. Red flags, none. Total score, 78. Tier 3. Claude drafts a reply that opens with a specific line about dispatch coordination being a classic integration problem, asks one clarifying question about their current TMS, and drops the booking link. Sent at 2:03 a.m. Logged. Telegram pings my phone. When I wake up, that lead has already replied with an answer and booked a slot. That is the entire loop. And here's what it does to your day. Before this system, I was reviewing 40 leads a day. Before this system, I was reviewing 40 leads a day, most of them garbage, spending maybe 2 hours on triage and replies. Now I review the top 5 or 6. The agent filters out roughly 60% as low fit with a polite Tier 1 reply. Another 25% get a Tier 2 qualifier and self-select out or come back with real info. And the top 15%, the actual buyers, get a warm on-brand reply in under 90 seconds, 24 hours a day, while I sleep. Marginal cost to run, a few cents in API calls per lead. On a home server, essentially 0 infrastructure cost. And here's the part that matters for you specifically as a solo operator. This is not a course project. This is not a tutorial toy. This is the exact pattern behind every client-facing intake system I ship. The file structure I just described, CLAUDE.md, scoring_rubric.md, reply_templates, form_hook.py. That is the whole thing. There is no hidden layer. You do not need Zapier. You do not need a CRM. You do not need Make. You need a folder, 4 files, and a webhook URL. One last piece, reliability. Because an intake agent that dies silently is worse than no agent. I run a simple health check cron every 15 minutes that pings the webhook with a test payload and expects a 200 response. If it fails twice in a row, I get a different Telegram alert, a red one. In 8 months, that alert has fired twice, both times because my ISP dropped for an hour. That's the whole ops story. If you want the exact intake agent folder, the CLAUDE.md template, the scoring rubric, the 3 reply tiers, and the webhook script, it's on the resources page at BizflowAI.io. Clone it, swap in your rubric, point your format it, and you have a working intake system before dinner. See what we ship for clients over at BizflowAI.io. Subscribe and ring the bell so the next agent breakdown lands in your feed. And if you want this built and deployed for you, book a free 30-minute discovery call at BizflowAI.io.